Okay, Colts, Seahawks. Phillip Rivers going to get some snaps here. That worries me. There is. I know they're reckless and I know they're young, but Mo, I watch that defense. I watch that offense. I mean, Sam Darnold. You know, I've always loved him. Give me the elements why that offense is so explosive.
Well, what they've done as the season has progressed, as Clint Kubiak's offense, the way he wants to run offense, has taken hold, and Darnold's become more comfortable in it, is they are very good with under center play action. Because they don't run the ball great on a weekly basis, but they are very good with under center play action. Darnold, as you know, pushes the ball down the field. We'll get to that in a moment, but I think you have to say something about their defense, and you started with their defense. They are among the league's best in terms of a trend that has now taken over the league in many ways, and that's playing with what we call big nickel, 3 safeties as almost their foundation defense. And Nick Emenwari, the rookie from South Carolina, who basically is over 6'3", 220. I think at the combine he ran a 4.38. He has become a dominant player as a rookie with his alignment versatility, with his multi-dimensional traits, and they've got a really good D-line. This is a really, really good defense. But offensively, getting back to that, and we'll get to the play here momentarily, we can actually show it now, because this play is very reflective of what they are as an offense and what they've evolved into as Kubiak has developed with Darnold over the course of a season. And because their defense is so good, Darnold doesn't have to throw 40 times every game, Colin, as you know. I mean, there have been games he's thrown 20, 21 times because their defense is so good. But they are capable of pushing the ball down the field. And this offense, they definitely want to run the ball better. And we'll see if that becomes a factor in given games as they play more important games. But this is a fun offense to watch because they push it down the field.
Good. It's a fun offense and a fun defense to watch. I've said this now for weeks. The Seattle Seahawks defense is just so violent. And I mean that in a positive way, obviously. It's just such a connected, both offense and defense, honestly. Which just, it's credit to coaching. They're so connected, and the communication, everyone is just always on the same page. They just are. And it's actually pretty great because you can actually really see that evolve. I don't know if you could have necessarily said that you got glimpses of it earlier on in the season, but not 100%. I remember when I started to really feel like I was seeing it. It was around the game against the Jags and the game against the first game, against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. I remember, I think that was like a Thursday night football game against the Cardinals. I think it was Thursday night. And I just remember thinking this offense and defense right now, like everyone is just on the same page. And that's when it really started to kind of come around for me, where I was just like, they're making moves here. And that's why it had been so disappointing when they went up against the Bucs. They lost a lot of that, especially on defensively more than anything. But then I still have PTSD from the trick play against the Bucs, because I'm just like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And that could end up really hurting them to get the #1 seed. But, we'll see. But yeah, the Seahawks are the best team that no one talks about when you really think about it. They're easily the best team that no one really talks about. There's a lot of energy with the Packers, a lot of energy with the Patriots, the Broncos, the Rams. Obviously, we talk about other teams like the Eagles and whatnot, but like in terms of like people feeling like, hey, people, man, like they could do damage, and you're starting to have like, even stereotypical sports talk conversations when you're just like starting to believe in the Broncos. Can the Broncos make a deep playoff run, right? Like, can the Patriots reach the Super Bowl, right? Like, you're having those types of conversations. We're not actually having those conversations at all with the Seattle Seahawks. Like, at all. Like, they're a greatly under-discussed team. And it's so interesting to me, and you're not going to change it playing the Colts, like, at all, especially if it's Phillip Rivers, which, it's such a shame. I'm so conflicted with this game because, obviously, I'm a huge believer in the Seahawks. And every time they win and look great, it's like, I told you guys, I told you guys, I told you guys, I get to just do my victory laps. But I really do want to see Phillip Rivers play well. Like, I got to admit that. I got to confess that, like, I will be watching this game and I'm going to be, I want to see Phillip Rivers, look good, right? Like, I want to see him sling it. And then if he does, like, I want to see him make the playoffs, then I'm like, yeah, I want to see Phillip Rivers and the Colts in the playoffs. Like, I find that fascinating. So, but not at risk of losing this huge playing the Rams for the 1 seed type of situation, or at the very least, the division. So, I just, this is going to be a weird game to watch for many reasons, but I'm obviously anticipating they're going to take care of the Colts, but it really does just all come down to that Rams game. If they beat the Rams, I do think this is the wrong schedule that you win that game. And although it's got the potential to be one of those weird short rest games, Thursday night football late in the late season, those games often get a little weird at this point in the season where everyone's just really extra tired. But it should benefit you because you got old man Matthew Stafford. You got the great violent defense that can really disrupt that old man. And you're at home, and home on Thursday night is definitely a big benefit. But that's the game you win that game. You're set up. You're set up to have everyone really start to have real conversations about who the Seahawks are, what can they do, what can they accomplish. Is this for real? Because right now everyone's really got the Rams as like the bona fide number 1 team and the team that they trust the most. And I'm not going to go as far to say that I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL, but I do think it's completely fair to say that you can trust them the most because they do have the perfect balance of talent, coaching, quarterback play, and the established resume. The established record of, like, I know McVay in the playoffs. I know Matthew Stafford. They've been together now for a while, right? You know who Devontae is. You know who Puka is. Like, you just know what they're all capable of doing in a way that, like, I don't know if you could have that same level of confidence with even the Seahawks, because it's newly formed with Clint Kubiak and Sam Darn. Like, there's question marks, which is I think it's fair. And who really has a ton of trust right now with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Packers, they don't have that resume or that that track record. Neither do the Bears, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, and the Patriots and the Broncos, second-year quarterbacks, newly formed, and so it makes sense why the Rams get that benefit of the doubt. It really, really does. And the Seahawks are never going to be able to really get that, like, this season, be able to just get that trust. I think people will always have some sort of, I don't want to say doubt, but at least like skepticism of, like, am I believe, do I see what I believe? Like, it'd be so interesting if the Seahawks, like, roll the Rams, which, again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but, like, let's say they roll them and it's just like, I'm just curious what people will say, because they'll say, man, the Seahawks are the best team, but can they get it done in the playoffs? Right? Like, that would be the conversation probably more than anything. But can Sam handle the playoffs, right? Can Clint Kubiak call a game that takes care of Sam, right? What's the story there? And can this defense continue to control these games? I think a team like the Seahawks, I don't really know if there was much of an equivalent last year that really felt as special and as great and as suffocating as this team has the potential to be. I believed in the Minnesota Vikings last year, and so that's like the closest comp. And ironically, Sam Darnold on both of them. But, like, this feels different than what I saw with the Vikings last year, honestly. And I don't know. It's hard to put in words, but I think if they continue to play exactly how they're playing, they can win the Super Bowl. There is no extra elevation. I see the Bears needing to elevate. I see the Packers needing to elevate, the Eagles needing to elevate, right? The Broncos needing to elevate. And you can say maybe some of those teams have kind of reached that elevation, and now it's time for them just to sustain. For instance, like Bo Nix's quarterback play, right? Just at this point, maybe just needs to be sustained, per se. But, like, I just look at the Seahawks and just being like, they've reached that level. They reached that peak that they'll need to be able to compete. It's just all a matter of just putting it all together when it matters most. Which is why it is a great luxury to have them play the Rams. It is a little bit of a bummer that it's a Thursday night game because, any weird stuff that happens in that game, you can kind of explain it away to being like, yeah, short rest, weird. It's late in the season. Those Thursday night, late in the season games are definitely, like, you definitely get some weird ones, right? Like that has remained pretty true, especially if the weather gets a little suspect, and I don't know exactly what it's going to look like in Seattle, but so like that'll be the one qualifier for that game, but the stakes are through the roof. They're in a great position to still win the division, one seed, etc. And you know, you take care of the Rams, you play the way how you're supposed to play. I don't know why at that point then you could 100% say, well, I trust the Rams over the Seahawks, or I trust the Packers over the Seahawks, or the Patriots or the Broncos. Like, I feel as though the Seahawks would have earned that right, unless you inherently believe that Sam Darnold can't handle the moment in the playoffs, and that if he starts to get pressure, it will unravel. That would be the only reason why you would be concerned or have some sort of doubt. And to be fair, it is up to Sam and the Seahawks, and specifically Sam and Clint Kubiak for that matter, and I think McDonald, to actually help him figure out some of those demons that he might have to work through to support that in a way that I do not think the Minnesota Vikings did. And I was incredibly disappointed, and I put the blame on Kevin Unal in that regard. So I'm just fascinated to see how it actually plays out. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Indianapolis Colts and Phillip Rivers, and kind of, you know, how great they are, how elite this team is? The points per game, the defense, like everything about them is great, and yet no one's having real conversations about them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.